Hi Cancers, and welcome to your March 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk to you about the energies coming in for your sign in the month of March. Thank you so much for being here, Cancer. We've got Pisces season moving into Aries season coming on for you, and let's talk about what that transition of time might mean for you. Okay, so you're up for a big upgrade. You're up for a huge life shift or life change. You have a few heavy energies coming up, a little bit heavier than many of the other signs, but I've already kind of talked about how the signs Cancer and Virgo can, have a bit of a challenge or a bit of an obstacle with the current Aquarius, Pisces, revamp reforming energy, because Cancer is a sign that is attached and attaches itself to the things it likes and the experiences of its life. And this new transit that we're having with so many planets being in Aquarius demands a healthy level of detachment. So I want to really open you up to themes of healthy detachment this month, Cancer, and really being able to facilitate that. So right off the bat, before we even get into the reading, let's talk a little bit about ways that we can energetically inspire healthy detachment in our life. Okay, so really getting up to speed with who you've become, really getting up to speed with your present moment, with the surrounding environment, with your status of happiness in relationship to what you're going through, and not relying on past connecting points to legitimize your current motivation. That's a really good way to start to get into the right mode. Past orientation is not super relevant right now, and if we're looking to the past, or if we're looking to old, outdated ways of fulfilling our life, it can be a little bit hard. It's not that you're not supported to continue doing things that have done well for you in the past. You are, especially if you can kind of sideline it or have older situations created anew to be things to fall back on at the worst case scenario. That's okay, but I really want to encourage you to seek the new, or to contemplate higher meaning or contemplate higher exposure for yourself as compared to where you were before. It's really important to revamp and revitalize your connecting points. Okay, so I've talked quite a bit about connecting points recently. It's a very important aspect of Aquarius energy, which is we got Jupiter, Saturn, and had the Grand Aquarius stellium last month. So what are you connecting to, and how inspiring is it? Do you feel inspired to what you're connecting to? Do you feel that your current structures are appropriate, or that your current structures work? I think it's really good to start to have more tangible structures in front of you that are not so connected to the past, but are secure, okay? Because you've got to really allow a new way of living for yourself before it's kind of forced, okay? The Tower and Ten of Swords together coming up can be an element of force, or an element of, okay, things have to end, things have to conclude, and we can do this the easy way or the hard way. That's what I always say with Ten of Swords along with the Tower card, okay? We can do this the easy way or the hard way. Yeah. So definitely look at that coming in, Cancer, with any very strong, long-running structures of your life. Do we want to do this the easy way or the hard way? Do we want to maybe, fix things before they become problems? That would be wonderful. Do you want to really look at your commitments right now and see whether they support you in the long term or not? It's really good to sideline things, okay? This is what I'm feeling for you. There's an aspect of Cancerian energy that can actually really excel right now, and that's in the ability to sidestep, Last year, with all the Capricorn energy, you would have really gotten into forward momentum and been like really moving forward. And now the Aquarian energy dealing with detachment is about sidestepping. So you can kind of be like, I'm not sure that this is really how I want to do things, and kind of sidestep right out of that. And that feels really good for you in regards to anything that is feeling heavy or unresolved, or just does not seem to be lucky for you in the long run. Look at that. You've also got Eight of Cups coming up. I mean, Eight of Cups, the Tower, 10 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords. I mean, thank goodness you've got the Sun and King of Pentacles coming up to offset all of this, but you are in a predicament. Some of you are in a little bit of a pickle, actually. Some of you are kind of way outlived in your situation, or some things might have just been forced to go on way too long. This is also just like a karmic month, and that can go either way, just depending on your momentum. With Eight of Cups in the Tower together, that's realized karma. So you get back what you put out, and that can be any shade of positive or negative. So that's always good. I always say to people, if they're getting that combination of energies, like, don't worry about it, because it's going to kind of reset you and it's going to get the slate clear again. Whether or not this is feeling like positive or negative karma coming in, it's going to really reset the slate. So just kind of brace yourself for March of 2021 to be creating a carte blanche for you, to be creating a new area where you can have kind of a do-over. I'm sensing a bit of a do-over for a lot of Cancers, and that feels really positive to see. Again, regardless of what direction that's going. 5 and 7 of Swords coming up. Really try to hone your honesty and integrity, because you won't suffer any repercussions if you do. It just gets really heavy when you're trying to remember a lot of white lies, or when you're trying to really work through a spider web of events, or do things very indirectly. There can be a passive-aggressive, indirect way of seeing things through for Cancer, like, knowing that a relationship needs to end, and instead of just facilitating that, or instead of facing that head on, you can actually start to pressure the other person emotionally into doing, not nice things, so that the relationship ends that way instead of just directly ending the relationship. There can also be an avoidance tendency with Cancer to just annex people, or to just block them away without having any type of resolution, which, yes, does create really, really difficult karma in the future. So that would probably be coming back around at this time. And it's really beautiful, actually, to see that you don't have to deal with that anymore, that you can overcome that, and that these things can kind of get reset back into a level of even-headedness or equality coming in. There's a sense of equality and equalizing for Cancer, where imbalances are now resolved, and that's really beautiful. Again, I know that in the moment, some of the stuff that you're going through in March, Cancer, can feel inconvenient or stressful, but I just really want to reassure you that you're having an equalization of like hormones maybe, or of experiences, so maybe not having to be around super unhealthy people anymore. And this is interesting, so I'm going to kind of veer off a little bit, but this is an important hypothetical for you guys, and I'm sure a lot of you have had this experience in your own life. But if you've ever lived with someone who's really crazy, like say you've had a roommate before that's like really mentally unwell, and you have no choice but to stay with them for whatever reason, or this could be like family relationships or anything. Like, any of you who've lived with someone who's not very well will know what I'm talking about, when after you dissociate, or after you disconnect or detach from those people and are maybe living on your own or elsewhere, it sometimes takes a while to get over that. Like, your brain almost has to heal, or your body has to heal from constantly being subject to craziness from other people. That could also be what you're going through in this time. And if you're just resolving that, or just having resolution from that type of karma, understand that it takes a little bit of time, and don't demand too much of yourself. I really want Cancers to get easier on themselves about the presence of unwell people in their lives, while also not getting really attached to that. Okay, so on one hand, I want you guys to get really soft with yourselves and be like, okay, I never knew that that's how that person was. I never knew that I was actually dating someone who was totally outside of a level of appropriateness for me, and it was just never going to work, but I just couldn't accept that. Get softer when it comes to thoughts like that, but also, like, as you get on the other side of it, try to not make that the story for the rest of your life. Try to not just do it again, or just repeat it, or go from like a relationship with one narcissist to a relationship with another narcissist, to a relationship with another, like a much older narcissist that's totally out of your like age demographic or something. I'm seeing Cancers do this all the time, like bouncing back or rebounding with someone even further into that level of chaos than the previous person, was. It's like the Cancer like karmically refusing to have ease in their lives to some degree. And that's what really has to change. The Aquarius energy does not tolerate this type of thing. Aquarius is a very decisive, logistic, authorizing energy. So it wants to authorize a change for everyone. It wants to really confirm a shift in paradigm. So if we've had this like long history of chaotic dating, or this long history of always being with the narcissist, or of always being the, empath in the narcissistic relationship, it's not any longer about like, oh no, I'm in that relationship again. What do I do? Go through that whole like 5-month fallout of like difficult passive aggressive maneuvering to like somehow sidestep away from it. That won't work anymore. Now you just have to directly do it. And then also there's sort of like a test on the other side of it of like, how is there a tendency to rebound? Is there a tendency to, just recreate the same exact situation with someone with a different face, with someone with a different, a different person of the same sort of collective of craziness. I'm sorry, I'm kind of joking here a little bit, where I'm not going to really, I'm not going to officially talk about like that type of word, but this is kind of a joke. Like, can we kind of get out of the crazy people category, Cancer? You know what I mean? Can I get an amen? Can I get a like for Cancers getting out of the crazy people category and choosing themselves to do that? Okay. Like does attract like, Cancers, and you're getting a lot better. You're getting a lot more well. And now it's time to start also attracting a lot more well people, and also maybe understanding that certain people from the past have changed too. It's a great time for resolution. Okay. Great time for resolution of anything. And healing, healing, Cancer. Cancer has to heal right now if it wants to not recreate these situations over and over again, because you've got the sun coming up. I know we need to get into your week to week, but as someone who has a lot of Cancerian energy in my own chart, I'm kind of enjoying just having some automatic speech around this dynamic. The sun and the King of Pentacles are coming up. So you are securing your life this month in March. Despite some conflict, you are securing your life. And the things you create from this level of connectivity, from this level of karma, from this level of you, the structures that are created here can be shining beacons of security for you, the Sun and King of Pentacles, for perhaps a lifetime or for many years, many chapters to come. So really focus on your creative capacity. The ability to create a business or passive income at this time for Cancer is at a high magnitude. Okay. If you can do it well, like really, you've got 5 and 7 of Swords, 10 of Swords, the Tower. Maybe you might kind of delay these things and get into a more creative element here. There are some really savvy Cancers who can do it all right here, but allow these new ideas to really flourish and get them down on paper. Start making it concrete. I would advise maybe getting into April before you really officially start anything, unless you've been planning it for a while and it's been on the books for a while. Really get into the astrological new year, at least past March 20th and past that sun energy. I love that you have the sun coming up right at the astrological new year. Great. We'll talk all about it here in a second, but wait it out for official starting points, but do get creative and understand that you're probably getting the insight and the clarity to know what security really could mean for you and how it could actually like manifest for you. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful in that way. You see, the universe never gives a blessing without a curse, and vice versa. Never a curse without a blessing. Never a pro without a con, never a con without a pro. So it's really cool to see that, yeah, there's some difficult darkness here, but it inspires and really shows you and illuminates and clarifies, what security is actually requiring in your life. So let's move on to the week-to-week Cancers. Okay, moving kind of quickly through it. In the first week, you've got the 5 of Swords rooted down by King of Pentacles. You have an easy response now to ego problems from most likely other people. Like, you can see it from a mile away. Like, basically, you're not fooled. And this kind of goes back to what we're talking about like repeating themes and repeating patterns. The red flags are going to be super visible for those of you who are dating, or for those of you who are, taking relationships to the next level. Any problem area will make itself really clear. So there's no hidden problems. Okay. Things are going to get really obvious. And as the month moves forward, that's going to get more and more the case. especially when we get into Aries season with the sun coming up too. It's like there's an illumination of all the darkness. So Cancer is a bit of a dark sign. It's ruled by the fourth house, which is the darkest house. It's the darkest part of the night. So that's comfortable to Cancer. Like Cancer likes a bit of obscurity, a bit of darkness, a bit of, safety in not being seen. That's why this very open, very bright, very electric Aquarian energy is not very harmonious. So you got to let some light in. You got to be able to breathe. You got to really open up to the world, or open up to the new identity changes happening. And that's going to come in the first week. It's a great time to see all the aspects of you and to make it more secure. And, everyone has aspects in their own personality that they kind of know. They're like, okay, got to work on this. And that could be the case in the first week. And you should have all of the answers and all of the, information that you need now to start to overcome any old problems. But I also see more security coming on as well. So any times where you might have been taken advantage of, or where someone might have even cheated you in some way or betrayed you, that because Five of Swords can deal with that too. It's like now that's a security for you. Now that's something that has built your character or led to more security in your life in a different way. So that's a good way to look at things. Week number 2, you have the Tower rooted down by 8 of Cups. That's the time that I'm talking about where you have maybe a very karmic experience in the second week of March. So try to make a safe environment for yourself in the second week. I don't advise in the second week of March, for example, to do any huge decision that's not been pre-planned. So impulses, watch out for impulses, but basically walk away from anything that you find to be a destructive presence in your life, like people who are always wanting you to drink with them, people who are wanting you to do risky things, people who are very unsafe. That needs to be walked away from without hesitation in the second week. And, also seeing what other chapters of your life have required you to walk away, and is that vindicatable? Is that justified now? Does this make sense? Are there still maybe a lot of people who maybe you should have walked away from that you've not walked away from? And is there anyone who maybe needs to have an olive branch? Is there anyone offering you an olive branch? Maybe that's not so great for that time, but as you're moving into the third week with Page of Pentacles and the Sun, it's a beautiful time for an olive branch. Page of Pentacles is the olive branch card to me. And the Sun is about benefits and truth and reality and warm conclusions. So I love that you have that combination of energies coming up. That is the week of the astrological new year, the true new year on March 20th. And the Sun's going into Aries, which really warms things up and gives you a totally new beginning. So what new beginnings do you have to take on, Cancer? That, unlike the second or fourth week, is a great time to officially start something, or to officially take a leap of faith even, and to enjoy the truth of your experience. Week number 4, you've got 10 of Swords rooted down by 7 of Swords. Okay, so it just kind of is a closure to what Pisces season was to you. So up till March 20th, from about February 18th until March 20th, I think that this was a very visceral, emotional time for Cancers, and where you basically dealt with maybe the darkest, deepest point of you. And now that has to wrap up, and it's the third week does it perfectly. You're already getting out of that. You're already enjoying a much easier experience. And then that's what always happens. I see this over and over and over again. Right when people get out of the difficult cycle, they get a test. The difficult cycle can basically re-invoke itself. It can restart or do itself over. And you choose in the fourth week whether you want this easier experience or whether you want to go back into that darker place. And it's very easy for Cancer to go into the darker place. But 10 of Swords also is about something being over. It's about, the word over is coming up, do-over, and then just over, endings. But also there's a new horizon. There's the Sun is rising, and the Sun is here too. So it's not all bad. It's not all negative. this is a very important phase for you. And right as you have an ending, there's a perfectly beautiful brand new beginning on the other side. But 7 of Swords is there too. So really be keenly aware if anyone's taking advantage of you. Is someone trying to profit off of your money, or is someone trying to always wanting to go out to dinners with you, but never paying, is there people kind of on for the ride or hanging on for the ride, basically? That's good to pay attention to. And also, are you carrying too many sharp things is the other side of Seven of Swords. Like, you can maybe be carrying a lot of sharp sentiments, okay? Always seeing the negative side of people. Cancer isn't usually like this, but sometimes they can get that way. It depends. Cancer can develop a very sharp edge toward people too. So just be aware of that. If that's there, what that results in is basically you start looking at yourself that way. So it's a great time to overcome that and to develop softer edges in regards to others and in regards to is specifically like loved ones, okay? Otherwise, it's not really love that's happening there. So anyway, thank you so much, Cancers. I find this month to be a necessary bridge for you. I've seen it coming for a long time that this karmic experience would happen. So be with yourself through it. And it's very, very positive on the other side. So trust in that and enjoy karma unfolding, because I think a lot of Cancers have actually done really well and have a good karmic outcome. So anyway, I'm going to put together an extended for you. We're going to look more into what this karma means in the extended. We'll get a central theme and 2 supporting themes. And the Patreon page is great. I do weekly tea chats over there and forecast each week ahead for all signs. So that comes with the lowest subscription, and it's just a great value. And it helps to keep this YouTube channel going. Without that, it wouldn't be possible. So do check that out, Cancers. And I'll link it below and in the center of your screen now. Otherwise, your subscribes, likes, and comments here on YouTube make my day. And have a great month, Cancers. Let's do the extended on Patreon. Bye.